Hi, my name is Annabel. I go to Dalton. I'm a rising junior, and this is my first milestone of my project. My project is a pot with an LED strip going around its circumference that lights up certain colors depending on the temperature of the pot. So for my first milestone, it was hooking up the electrical stuff, so getting the LED and the temperature sensor to work, connecting them both to the Arduino, and then making it work in a way such that the temperature sensor can take the temperature and using that tell the LED what color to change. So I faced a bunch of problems trying to do this. My first big problem was when I was setting up the LED strip. I had to make the circuit board using the breadboard, and the transistors that I was using were not the right ones. They were a different type than the kind that I had instructions for, so I had to try to work around that problem. Also, the orientation of the transistors were wrong, so I had to rewire my circuit a bunch of times. Then with the Arduino itself, pin number 5, which was a pretty important pin, got fried when I was testing something, so I had to work around that. And also I had to figure out how to get both the temperature sensor and the LED onto this Arduino with the limited amount of pins that I had, and there were certain pins that both elements needed, so I needed to find replacement pins for those doubles. And then finally, when I was working on the code, I had some issues with the color mixing where I thought that on was really off, so I had some problems with that. So now I'll just go through the parts. This is the thermocouple wire. It's basically the temperature sensor, and it takes the information from the air or whatever it's on. Then that information goes to the thermocouple amplifier, which takes the information to the Arduino, and then once your Arduino is hooked up to the computer, it can print the temperature onto your computer. This part is the LED strip. These are the transistors that I had problems with. Basically what was wrong was the ones on the computer were N-channel transistors, which means the current's flowing in one direction, whereas these are P-channel transistors, the current's flowing in the other direction. So I had to rewire my circuit board to make sure that the right things were being picked up and dropped off in the way that the current was flowing. Then when I was dealing with putting all the pins onto the board, there are certain pins called PWM pins, which allow the elements to cycle through on and off, and that helps things such as like the colors lighting up and changing colors and brightness. And so I needed 3 certain pins for the red, green, and blue for that. But I also needed a PWM for the temperature sensor because the clock function on this, which keeps track of how often it's getting the temperature, needed that PWM function, so I had to find another PWM pin, which I didn't really have because I fried number 5. And then I also had to look at the code that comes with the amplifier to see if their other pin, number 3, could be replaced with number 7. I was able to work around all of that, and so then all the parts work in conjunction, and that's pretty much it. So this is it working. You can't see this, but it's putting the temperature on the screen of the computer, and when you plug in the battery, it lights up blue, because when it's under 25 degrees Celsius, it's blue. That's what I have programmed in right now. And if I hold it in my hands like this to try to get it hotter, it'll turn red when it's above 25. So that's it working. My next milestone will be making the code more advanced to have maybe more colors and more fluidity between the colors, and then also putting it on the actual pot itself, so that, and heat proofing everything so you can actually use the pot and have this on it at the same time.